Welcome back to the lecture series of Managerial Economics. In this video, I am going to discuss an important case study on how economies of scale plays in business. Of course, I will be talking about one important example, that is Huawei and the Gray Semiconductor companies, how they plan for doing the merging and how they implement the strategy of economies of scale and how they are combating the rivalries. It's a very good case study. You can have a look on that, and later you will come to know the importance of economies of scale. So first of all, let me explain the scenario. What happened there? Two Chinese chip making companies, Huahong Semiconductor and Grace Semiconductor, decided to merge. They decided to combine their like operation, their manufacturing, everything they wanted to combine because there are some issues. Why? The reason is China semiconductor industry was scattered. There is no centralized one and could not compete well with Taiwanese companies like TSMC and UMC. These are the big giants in the domain of chip manufacturing industries. So they are unable to. Chinese companies were unable to compete those largest giant, especially TSMC and UMC. So what they decided? They decided to merge each other. They hoped to become a stronger competitor to China's biggest existing chip maker, SMIC, which was struggling to upgrade the technology. So the reason is actually SMIC, it was a Chinese company. Like they are not able to upgrade the technology. And also most of the chip making companies, they are not centralized. Even technologies are very obsolete. How they merged? Huawei issued new shares to Grey stakeholders in exchange for all the Grey shares. Second one is after the merger, both the companies would operate as one big company. Okay, they merged each other. They shared all the capital, everything they shared, and finally they become a big company. So why they merged? Because economies of scale consideration. Running a chip factory is very expensive. Machinery, research and development, staff, new technology, new machinery, everything is required. By joining together, they can share the cost, of course, buy material in big and make more chips at very lower price per chip. So cost was a major constraint. Use complementary strength as well. Huawei and Grace had different strength in technology. Especially they had very more number of human power. Apart from that, they are having a CRM software, etc. Combining meanings they can offer more types of chips and more customers. They can find out new customers. Huawei, of course, they had their own customers. Even Grace had their own customers. Because if they merge it together, they can have a common customer. Correct. Yeah. Then compete globally. Taiwan, Japan, and Korea were ahead because they want to they are actually top in this chip industry. China wanted to grow its own big player to compete internationally. These are the rivalries. China also wanted to compete with those rivalries by applying the economies of scale because most of the chip manufacturing industries are scattered. There is no a common organization. There is no way to centralize. Correct. Link to the theory. Economies of scale. How economies of scale come into picture? The bigger production, the cheaper per unit. That's a concept. Example, making 10,000 chips costs less per chip than making 1,000 chip because the fixed cost was spread out. Second one is capital intensive industry. Chip factories need huge investment, of course, in advanced equipment, manpower, machinery, etc. Merging helps share that burden because two companies are merging means the share will be equally divided. Correct, no? All the burden will be taken equally. So there won't be any common burden for a particular company. So that was the concept actually. So these 2 points you have to remember: economies of scale and a capital intensive industry. So there are some question here. If you answer it, I'll come to know that you know the concept. You understood the concept. Yes, of course. Let us move on to the question. How can merger and acquisition help companies achieve economies of scale? The right answer is by combining the companies, produce more and reduce cost per unit. Share resources like factories, machinery, staff, and research and development. Even buy raw material in bulk at cheaper prices. Avoid duplicate cost and sharing the burden, etc. How could business firms achieve economies of scale in their sector? Food processing sector, merging plants to process larger quantity, sharing the cold storage, transportation, distribution, supply chain management, buying raw material like wheat, milk, or sugar in bulk item with a low cost. And voice-based business processing outsourcing sector. I mean, business process outsourcing in the sense call centers. Combine call centers to handle more clients with the same infrastructure. Share expensive technology platform, training and supportive staff and manpower. Large size means spreading the fixed cost like rent, information technology systems, and management over the more project. Of course, I can say definitely the merger and acquisition will help to inbuild the economies of scale. Ultimately, cost per unit can be minimized if you go for the merger and acquisition. The merger of a Huawei and Grace is a textbook example of companies in high-cost industries, especially in the domain of semiconductor field, chip manufacturing, combined to achieve economies of scale and compete with the global giant, especially from the Taiwan, Korea, etc. So these are the simple story and how managerial economics, especially like merger and acquisition, how merger and acquisition one of the factor for economies of scale. So impact of economies of scale in the business is clearly explained in the case study. Let me know if you have any queries I would like to address with you. You can mail me. Any support is required, you can directly mail me and you can mention your requirement. Thank you so much for watching this video. Happy learning. If you wanted to get the similar kind of video, I'll be putting so many case studies in the upcoming days. So if you are interested to watch the case study and get the practical knowledge and get the real-time experience, you please subscribe our channel. Also, kindly share the video if the content is useful with the others. It will be helpful for your placements, it will career development, for your entrepreneurship skills. Happy learning. I wish you all the very best for your examination and your entrepreneurship skills. Thank you.